In example 1, we want to determine if the figures have rotational symmetry. We're going to discuss some other kind of rotational symmetry, but I'd like to talk specifically about 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and 270 degrees clockwise. So let's take a look at the first one. Got a nice symbol here, and it looks to be a V and a W. You might recognize this one. And we want to see what would happen if we rotated this 90 degrees clockwise. Would it be the same picture as it was before? And we can see that no, that's not true. The V and the W would be tilted to the right. Also, if we rotated this figure around the center, 180 degrees, the V would be pointing down and the W would be up here, so the figure wouldn't be the same. And at 270 degrees, if we rotated that all the way around here, then the V would be facing there and the W would be back here, and so it doesn't exhibit any of these symmetries. So we could say, no, this doesn't exhibit rotational symmetry, and we're only doing 90, 180, 270 clockwise. This does have rotational symmetry if you rotate it 360 degrees around that center point. For B, this shape looks like it appears that if we rotated this position 90 degrees, it would line up right on the same type of pinwheel shape here, this sort of shaded area. And all the others would do that as well. You'll notice that all these tick marks would just rotate 90 degrees, and you wouldn't be able to tell the figure from the original picture if we rotated around that center point. So 90 degrees is good for this one, clockwise of course. And this one would also, and it would work the other way as well, but we're just talking about clockwise here. So 180 would work too, and then also 270 would work, and of course if you wanted to you could put 360, but I'll put clockwise there for you. This guy, if we take a look at the top piece right here, it's where this curly Q kind of would come back up, or the top of the rounded part here, and that rounded part would be over here if we rotated it 90 degrees clockwise. You can see that the original figure doesn't have a piece there. These pieces are kind of off a little bit. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to find out the degree difference, all you'd have to do is take the number of them, 3 of them, divide 360 by 3, and you get 120 degrees. So you could say that figure C exhibits rotational symmetry for any multiple of 120, so 120 or 240 or 360 or so on. But in terms of 90 degrees, we would say no. 180 degrees, this mark would be down here, and there isn't that funny looking curl right there. And then 270 degrees, that would be the same thing. That figure would actually be over here, and it's a little bit off. It's going to be off by about 30 degrees. So we would say no, this doesn't exhibit rotational symmetry with respect to these guys. Does it have rotational symmetry for another angle measure? Yes, it indeed does.